Happening now, the latest on the new vaccine mandate for healthcare workers here in New York State. Plus, we head to the scene of a rescue at the Chautauqua Gorge.
Well, fall is not going to be anywhere to be seen across the Northeast over the next really 7 to 10, maybe even 15 days. We'll talk about it in detail next as the News at Noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now. This is WNY News Now with live breaking news.
Police are working the scene of an active shooter situation at Timberview High School in Arlington, Texas. Arlington police confirming the news on Twitter just a few moments ago. The incident started at around 9:30 this morning, local time there in Texas. The school is locked down with police on scene searching the building. They do not have any additional details at this time, including any confirmation of injuries. A parent reunification center now has been set up. You see the buses in the live shot coming there, taking students away from the scene, with officials asking everyone to avoid the school grounds. We, of course, will continue to follow this story and work to provide updates here on air and online. Well, New York's COVID-19 vaccine mandate for healthcare workers has been extended. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Our Dante Roberts has more from Governor Kathy Hochul, who announced that news yesterday, saying the requirement is now in place for a new group of healthcare professionals.
The new mandate will require all of those working at the psychiatric hospitals under the Office of Mental Health and Office for People with Developmental Disabilities to get their first dose of the vaccine by this time next month.
We want to talk about our OMH, Office of Mental Health, and OPWDD, the people with disabilities facilities. We want to make sure that we have safety in those as well. The ones that are hospital settings, we want them to have their first dose by the November 1st.
Those who are required to get vaccinated will not need testing, but will need to receive their first dose by her deadline or be terminated. Hochul is making the expectations very clear on how she wants to combat COVID-19.
And we'll start weekly testing for those who are unvaccinated. Again, this is a category where more people have to be coming in and out, not with the same care provider in other settings, but we're going to start focusing on this right now and reaching out to them to let them know these are our expectations.
For the unvaccinated, testing will begin on a weekly basis. This will start on October 12th and will occur within all hospital settings.
I don't think there'll be any surprise, but we'll have the full vaccine mandate for these hospital settings, which are analogous to the hospital settings that are already doing it, so this makes sense.
Hochul is looking to get other vaccination brands fully approved as soon as possible in order to provide people with the affordable medication that they need.
And again, this is another conversation I'm going to have with the White House. When will we expect approvals for the other forms of vaccination? I'm a J&J person myself, waiting on that, Moderna as well. We're doing well with Pfizer, but we also want to make sure that those other vaccine brands are approved soon so we can get people the fortification that they need to have.
Dante Roberts, WNY News Now.
Dante, thank you. Previously, the state announced that hospital workers had to have their first dose by September 27th or submit an exemption or be fired. The state also previously said they would not accept religious exemptions, but was forced to do so from a federal judge. The judge has until October 12th to make a final decision on religious exemptions. Well, the vaccine mandate for healthcare workers in the Empire State has begun, and one question still remaining unanswered at this hour: just how many employees were put out of work? So far, Governor Hochul has not provided a response. During a briefing in the Red Room of the state capitol yesterday, she was asked twice for the number, to which she said she didn't have it. This comes as many hospitals face possible staffing shortages across the state, with many, including here in Jamestown, protesting. She says she cannot release the data because the numbers are changing by the moment.
I will be able to give very accurate numbers soon, but we'll know, because we're in litigation over this, that is going to be a definitive date when we'll know yes or no. Are these people getting vaccinated? And what are the vacancies? And how many more people? But I will tell you, independent of the numbers, we set up a system to be responsive to any institution that needed help. And you know what we did. I've talked about this for weeks.
The governor there went on to reassure New Yorkers that there will not be a shortage of hospital workers because of the mandate, with her saying student nurses, retired nurses, or out-of-state nurses could be brought in. Well, a man was rescued by first responders from the Chautauqua Gorge last night. The Westfield Fire Department says the Chautauqua County Tech Rescue Team joined their crews and firefighters on the village of Mayville in responding to the gorge near Route 394 just after 7:30 p.m. The man, who first responders say was not injured, was not able to make his way back to the roadway. Crews used an all-terrain vehicle to get themselves to the scene. Rescuers were able to find the man shortly after that and bring him to safety. A candidate for Jamestown City Council at large says she's concerned about the diminishing tax base and its economy. WNY News Now's Matt Hummel spoke with Alyssa Porter, a political newcomer who's running as a Democrat. She detailed how several areas, including infrastructure, rely on a strong tax base. Porter explains how, in order for the city to thrive, officials need to continue to think outside of the box, something she plans to do.
We have to be willing to be innovative. We have to be willing to not sit back and say, this is the way that we have always done things. I think a great example of that right now is cannabis legalization, and the fact that that has the potential to be a huge economic driver for our city and a new area of growth.
Porter furthers that she hopes that voters see that she'll prove to be accessible for her constituents if elected to one of the three at-large positions.
One of the things that I hear as a criticism of politicians in general, not just on the local level, is that you only hear from them when they're running for an office. And I think that that is something that has to change, especially when it comes to your representatives who live in your community and who are a part of your day-to-day life. I think that people should vote for me because I will continue to remain accessible.
Porter and Democrats Ellen DeTanto and Christina Cardinelli are seeking a seat, alongside with incumbent Republicans Kim Eklund and Jeff Russell and newcomer Randall DeVersa. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now as we continue to cover all news from across Chautauqua County and beyond. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comment section down below. We always love to hear from you. It's great to see Jeff, good to see Tammy, Lori, Sarah, Brian, and Connie as well. Hopefully you all are having a great day. We appreciate you tuning in here on Facebook Live. And for those of you who are watching us on your television, it's so easy to stay up to date. You can download the Channel 716 Roku app and stream us today. Well, one thing that we're keeping an eye on, of course, is that weather forecast. And we've been joking about this, Dakota, but the fact that it's like a second summer out there today, maybe even a third if you really think about it.
Well, I mean, you know, I kind of think this might be our third summer, almost, in the fact. But you can see some of the colors have changed a little bit at the Warren City Bank Skycam. And again, you know, the same thing we talked about yesterday is with this warm air in place, and the warm air is not going to break anytime soon. We have to watch that because that could mute some of the fall colors as the colors really start to pop later on in the month. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that and see where the foliage ends up as the warmer air really doesn't look like it's going to break. Satellite composite shows you that we have actually some clouds moving on in from the southeast. This is actually our wind direction flow to the southeast. So we're seeing some clouds build in right now. Overcast skies being reported at the Jamestown airport, which is north of the city, but there are some sun breaks, and we're going to see more of them as we go through the afternoon. At least it's not going to be as cloudy as it was yesterday. 73 is actually was the high yesterday. Started the day day at 60, another warm night. I actually had to put a fan back in the window last night. That's how muggy it was last night. 86 and 26 are the record highs and lows. So through the afternoon, partly to mostly sunny after those clouds start to break apart. Warmer, a tiny bit humid. You will notice it 70 to 76 with a southeast wind. If you like these temperatures, more of it is on the way, but we do have some rain towards the weekend. We'll time it all out with that 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin.
All right, Dakota, looking forward to that. Thank you, sir. The group tasked with regulating New York State's cannabis industry met for the first time yesterday, focusing on how they plan to keep the public informed on the regulation process. Our Julia Gress attended that meeting and has more on the future for this group.
Last month, New York's governor issued her final appointments to the Cannabis Control Board, a commission charged with approving a comprehensive regulatory framework for the state. Board Chair Tremaine Wright, a former member of the New York State Assembly, was introduced, as well as the remaining 5 board members. The group's main goals include social justice, public health and safety, as well as economic development, as Jessica Garcia explains.
Coming from labor, I have to say that, we really see this as an opportunity to create good jobs for New Yorkers.
Similarly, member Dr. Jen Metzger believes the production of cannabis can help struggling farmers.
I think it offers huge opportunities to our farmers, including small farmers, young farmers, historically underrepresented farmers, and farmers who have been struggling economically.
Key details of the Control Board's ethical considerations process includes drafting bylaws and developing a comprehensive ethics framework as a guide.
The MRTA is an exceptional piece of legislation with goals to create a new industry that is diverse and inclusive, and conscious of the harms caused by the war on drugs and cannabis prohibition.
The group's executive director also wants to transition management, CBD, and hemp programs away from the Department of Health. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. That board plans to hold several info sessions going forward to keep New Yorkers informed about the rollout process. Those meeting and subsequent info will be posted online at cannabis.ny.gov. Well, students in Warren County will now have to wear masks in schools, at least for the next week. This comes after a federal judge implemented a temporary restraining order yesterday, ordering that parents can no longer sign a waiver for their child not to mask up. The only exception is if they have a doctor's note. 9 parents filed a lawsuit against the Warren County School District. The parents argue by signing a waiver to exempt their child from wearing a mask, it goes against the mask mandate put in place by local and state health departments there. The school board put this new policy in effect on September 13th, and some parents want all children to be masked all the time. And the attorney for that parent group said this case could have an effect on other schools across the state.
Case is extremely important because there are a number of school districts across Pennsylvania doing the same thing of allowing parents to sign off without medical documentation, allow their children to allow optional masking without medical documentation.
An evidence hearing and preliminary injunction is set for next Wednesday. Defendants will need counsel and witness testimony is expected there. Coming up, the push to find agreement in Washington. Why, that's easier said than done. And later, we showcase the new memorial that's honoring veterans here in Chautauqua County. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Located along the Amish Trail, the Randolph Retail Company offers a variety of clothing, jewelry, and gifts for any occasion. Offering uptown merchandise at small-town prices, our locally owned business balances quality and value. With complimentary gift wrap here at the Randolph Retail Company, we pride ourselves in personal service. Check out our Facebook page or stop in today at 127 Main Street, Randolph. just a 20-minute drive from Jamestown.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The U.S. just recorded its biggest increase in homicides in modern history. Provisional CDC numbers for 2019 to 2020 indicate a 30% jump in murders during that time. Crime statistics support that data. Previously, the biggest increase in homicides was from 2000 to 2001. That was due to the 9/11 terrorist attack. Well, Democrats are regrouping on Capitol Hill this week with trillions of dollars on the line. Leaders working to reach an agreement between the clashing sides of their party. Our Washington correspondent Matt Knadler has the story.
For Democrats, the reconciliation package could be shifting from quantity to quality, more about the bill's substance rather than the final price tag.
What's important about the bill is not the final number, but what we do in it.
That price tag, initially $3.5 trillion, bringing moderate and progressive Democrats to a stalemate last week as negotiations continue Tuesday. But leaders are now back at the drawing board after West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin signaled support for a scaled-back $1.5 trillion deal, leaving rank-and-file Democrats in a tough position.
It's going to take time. It takes a lot of negotiating, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Progressives say the reconciliation bill, which includes billions of dollars for child and elder care, Medicare expansion, education, and more, must be agreed to before they support the companion $1 trillion infrastructure bill. President Biden and top Democrats insist both bills will pass Congress. Only Democrats will support the reconciliation package, meaning top Republicans right now are on the offensive. They're especially focused on the COVID vaccine penalties for companies that are tucked inside the bill. For businesses with 100 or more employees, that includes a fine up to $70,000 per non-vaccinated employee, with higher fines for repeat violations.
It increases the fine to $700,000 per occurrence. That's just a level of craziness within this budget reconciliation.
For Democrats, the budget process is now a balancing act, finding a price tag both factions of the party support while properly funding new government programs.
But we need enough resources to set them up and to get it moving. And so hopefully that can get as close to 3.5 as possible.
In Washington, Matt Knadler reporting.
Matt, thank you. President Biden's also on the road this week, pushing to get his infrastructure deal passed. Well, Facebook is in the hot seat, cleaning up after a massive 6-hour outage. Now, a whistleblower testifying before a Senate hearing. Frances Haugen leaked tens of thousands of pages of internal research and documents indicating Facebook was aware of various problems caused by its apps, including Instagram's potential, quote, toxic impact on teens girls. Isabel Rosales is in Washington with the highlights and how that company now responding.
Facebook needs to take responsibility.
Facebook is trending, and it's a big mess for the social media giant.
I came to realize a devastating truth. Almost no one outside of Facebook knows what happens inside of Facebook.
Whistleblower Frances Haugen testifying in a Senate subcommittee 24 hours after a massive outage took out Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram.
The company's leadership knows how to make Facebook and Instagram safer, but won't make the necessary changes because they have put their astronomical profits before people.
The former Facebook product manager is taking aim at the company's algorithms, accusing them of leading young users to harmful content like anorexia.
They have to make sure that the next generation is just as engaged with Instagram as the current one. And the way they'll do that is by making sure that children establish habits before they have good self-regulation.
By hooking kids.
By hooking kids.
That's why she's pleading for congressional oversight. Rare bipartisan agreement.
You and I ought to resolve our differences and introduce legislation. So as Senator Thune said, let's go to work.
Our differences are very minor, or they seem very minor in the face of the revelations that we've now seen.
Facebook spokesperson weighing in on the testimony.
The majority of young people on Instagram are having a good experience, and that is borne out by the documents that were stolen.
In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
Isabel, thank you. In a written statement, Facebook denied the whistleblower's claim, saying she didn't work on the subject matter in question and that they don't agree with her characterization of the many issues she testified about. Well, carb lovers, here's a reason to celebrate because today's National Noodle Day. Noodles have been around for more than 4,000 years, and they're one of the most eaten foods around the world. Long noodles like spaghetti, fettuccine, or linguine are what probably first come to mind, but noodles actually come in a variety of forms and textures. Each kind of noodle pairs differently with sauces, broths, and meals. Celebrate tonight by inviting friends to bring their favorite style of noodles to share. I love noodles. I love everything from spaghetti to linguine, fettuccine, the nice noodles you get, what is that called, lo mein at Chinese. Those are underrated, underrated noodles, right?
Well, actually, you know, the Chinese actually invented pasta. Yeah. We Italians just take credit for it, but all we did was just add a little bit of oregano.
Right, exactly, exactly. But you gotta love it. Let us know what your favorite kind of noodle is down below.
How about
I'd
crack
have to
soup?
say,
Anybody?
yeah, that is good too.
I love some crack soup on occasion. I mean, seriously, when you are sick, there's nothing better than a bowl of warm crack soup.
It really rejuvenates
Excuse
yourself.
me, ramen noodles.
Right.
There we go. We can't use the term crack soup. I guess it's not PG.
What's
or
that?
PC.
I have to do the weather today, apparently, Dakota. I think HR wants to talk
Okay.
to you.
All right.
It was a sunny day yesterday. No,
it wasn't.
This is quite the graphic.
Yeah, so
sunny upstairs, anyways, not here.
Yes, so it was sunny in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but not down here. And here's the reason why. The cloud cover yesterday was stuck in the lower part of the atmosphere, about 2,000 feet off the ground. That's where the cloud layer was yesterday. So it was sunny above it, but with all the clouds down low, it ultimately means that we just didn't get any sunshine. And I think if we had sunshine, temperatures yesterday, I think would have soared well into the mid-70s if we would have had sunshine yesterday. But the clouds really won the day yesterday, and we do have some clouds downtown right now. 68 as a noon hour, a southwest wind of 6, the dew point at 61. So again, we're watching that dew point. Again, it's relatively odd to see a dew point in the 60s this time of the year, but you know, it is a little bit humid out there, and the visibility up to 10 miles, so we don't have any fog to contend with like we did yesterday. So the sky will become brighter through the afternoon. That's the good news. The mild air ain't going anywhere, so get used to it. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be stuck here. We see a few showers for the week's end. Not necessarily the weekend, but going into Friday and Saturday, we'll see a few showers, and we stay warm into next week. In fact, here's the current 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. Well, before that, actually, the temperatures over the next 5 days. I forgot this graphic was in here first. And so 73 today, 74 tomorrow. Look at Friday. Upper 70s. Some spots may flirt with 80 on Friday, and then the coolest day we have is on Saturday at 71. And now here's the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. And if you really want the cool air, you have to head west. That's where the cooler air is going to be settled. Much of the continental, basically from the plains all the way to the East Coast, is going to see warmer than average temperatures over the next 8 to 14 days. And this pattern looks like it's going to stay through at least the end of October. So we don't see any fall air in sight here for a while. High pressure now in control here, but we do see some clouds starting to build in. This is because our wind flow is mainly to the southeast. We're seeing some clouds build in, but those clouds should ultimately go away for the afternoon hours. Here's the newest run of future scans showing that to you very well. We should go partly to mostly sunny for at least the remainder of the afternoon. Clouds start to return through the day on Thursday, but we should stay mainly dry. As we go into Thursday night into Friday, notice the model sparking looking up a couple showers here. There will be a chance for at least a couple scattered showers on Friday, and we'll keep that chance all the way through Saturday as well. So temperatures across the inland areas today, yeah, how about lower 70s? How about 75 in Warren? More sunshine than we had yesterday, but the mild air is still in place. Now the future is up on the screen. 74 tomorrow. There's the rain showers Friday and Saturday. Turns a bit breezy on Sunday, but we stay in the lower 70s all the way through early next week. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing. After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this. You will find something.
You will find something new.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
A new memorial honoring veterans was unveiled yesterday at the Village of Mayville Cemetery. Our Bronson Rasmussen was there and explains what this exhibit means to those who served.
The edifice, which had its groundbreaking back in 2019, was a pleasant surprise to many on the Chautauqua Hometown Heroes Veterans Memorial Board. The exhibit currently features a gazebo with 660 memorial bricks, as board treasurer Thomas Jordan explains.
I'm excited. I had no idea. We anticipated few people showing, but lots of people showed. Bill Ward surprised us with this song that he wrote. We didn't know that was coming. We had the bagpipes, the kids from Chautauqua High School. It was just wonderful.
The brick's main purpose is to honor those that have served, especially military members who were missing or killed in action. The wall honors 72 prisoners of war and 69 Purple Heart recipients, with 119 heroes killed in action. The hope is to give families something to remember, which Chautauqua County Legion member Steve Seibert says is very important for all veterans.
I think it's very symbolic because now it gives them an actual place where people can come up and maybe perhaps say their final goodbyes.
New bricks are available for all that have served and can be added to the display.
We have two sizes of bricks. A 4x8, which is $75, and an 8x8, which is $100.
Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you. For more info on where you can purchase those bricks, check out the Chautauqua Hometown Heroes Veterans Memorial Board's Facebook page. Yeah, so important to honor those, especially those who didn't come home. Let us know what you think about this and more in the comment section down below. Dakota, if you're a long fan of the show, I think you'll know I have a real big soft spot for these American men and women who are absolute heroes. And another great way to honor them in Chautauqua County, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty certain they are one of the best places, I think, for veterans, where veterans make up, I believe, 10% of the population or more, whether they're retired or maybe active duty servicemen and women. And to see something like this is just another testament of why our community comes together to support them in so many ways. So I'm so thankful as a resident to see this come to fruition and for something to really honor those, and I mean especially those who didn't come home, because that's a tough pill to swallow. You know, everyday life, we have accidents, tragedies, car accidents, we maybe lose a family member or someone dies unexpectedly. But for someone who put their life on the line and to have that be their destiny is so tough, and it's really great to see the community come together.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I can't imagine what it's like to, you know, be a family member and, you know, to be a family member of somebody who is currently serving, and then have to, you know, deal with the pain of knowing that they're not going to come home alive. And I mean, I can't imagine kind of what that feels like.
So we thank them so much for their service and for putting this on as well. Well, that's it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look over Cat County and Wheaton Park. We're back here tomorrow. Hope to see you then.